Mr. and Mrs. Taylor, it's lovely to meet you. I almost forgot. Happy anniversary.
Um, Jan and I were talking about a script that I wrote on spec, and we had met. It was right around the time Corpus Christi came out, and he was out for the whole Oscar
Mm,
nomination stuff. So we
mhm,
met, and then he started telling me about what he really wanted to do for his next project. And so he had this idea. And he had written like a three-page treatment for it. And it was basically an outline for the structure of the film. And it had, its kind of sort of guardrails and how he wanted it told and structure, in terms of acts. And also that he wanted it contained. And he always kind of wanted to do a civil war within, an intimate family setting. So it was
mhm.
really intimidating, I will say, for me at first. Like
Right.
he's a very accomplished filmmaker. And so I said, look, I love the idea that you would love me to collaborate with you on this. Let me go off and think about how to approach it.
Mhm.
And then, like, most writers, things appear in our head. Like the Magritte painting was the first one that to me was like thematically like what I thought, what the film represents to me in a way. And then I thought about the relationship of the professor and student as a way into the story.
Mhm.
And then we thought, oh, well, let's get together in a room and talk about it. And then the pandemic hit, so we weren't able to do that. So what ended up happening is we had a lot of conversation on WhatsApp about what was happening in the world. And that was living in our bubbles, which is the framework for our film. It was about a virus spreading, which is sort of how I view what's happening with this kind of social virus, this movement. And it was about families, and we'd both experienced division in our own families politically. So at some point, I put all of those conversations into this story, and then he really just wanted me to go off and figure out arcs for characters. And really, I wrote very detailed character studies for everybody, which
Mm.
is really needed when you have an intimate film like this. And then I wrote the structure and the treatment, and then we were just sort of off to the races. And it was very liberating that he let me sort of go off and figure it out. And I will say the reaction, I haven't had this happen quite so like this, but it was great. And we had an actor before I even knew if, almost if anyone responded to it. So,
Mm.
so it was really great. And some things take 10 years and other things come together. It's pretty crazy. So that this happened. Yeah, he came in with the structure knowing he wanted to have drop in. Originally, it was every anniversary, and I said
Mm.
it's a little different in America. We don't celebrate anniversaries with the entire family present, except we celebrate the big anniversaries.
Right,
So the
right. True, true.
25th, yeah. So I said let's make the 25th a really big splashy, like where we're celebrating with the family, and this is a milestone. And then let's do other family celebrations, which is how we came to, I decided to do Thanksgiving. Where they live on the Potomac in Virginia is very much, the bedrock of American civilization. So it was very sort of important, and I wanted to do a Thanksgiving there. And then we did a birthday, and then it culminates into the 30th anniversary. So within those 5 years. And Jan always said something really important that stuck with me, and that was that, with democracy in Poland as recent as 81, like it's amazing how over the course of times people don't see something, authoritarian necessarily encroaching, and by the time
Mhm.
they're calling it out, and I think we're feeling a lot of this in our country right now, that it's here, you know what I mean? And we are feeling, those changes occur. And so it was always important to him to kind of have the audience feel that along with the family. Like, I'm a professor at Georgetown, and I end up here, and how did that happen? You know what I mean? And so
Right,
that's
right.
what we wanted everyone to feel, those abrupt shifts of what happens when you have what is in essence in this movie a populist movement become, hugely influenced by money and by a think tank, which we don't delineate from which side, but what happens when that occurs. Yeah, the change is right. It's like Hitchcock's MacGuffin. We don't
Uh-huh.
exactly tell you what it is. And the reason for that is we had discussions about should we do titles on each section that are connotes of chapters of the book, but then they sound like they were more like steps into fascism or warning signs or and we didn't want to put that affiliation to it like
Mhm.
like signaling or coding. So the change is that idea of the MacGuffin that I think no matter what political side you're on, you're going to see yourself in the film and or your neighbors and your friends and your family. But that book was, yeah, something I thought about like The Secret, which is just, a self,
Mhm.
help kind of guide, but it becomes, a phenomenon and then everyone is doing The Secret or something and that takes off in popularity. Well, I thought, wow, if there's something that's written for every American and they would
Mhm.
love that utopia, they would love that absolute,
Mhm.
world to live in, then they can feel themselves in it. But things like that become corrupted and shifted by interest, and so
Mhm.
it's something that can be altruistic and can turn when power shifts. So that was the idea of it. And the character like of Moses Ho who comes in, this is played like as McKennagrace's friend. My whole idea with that was that he came from like Hong Kong Harbor, where we really
Mhm.
can take root in what's happening there and see that's what we're trying to explore here in America, because it's this cautionary tale that's become more real since the pandemic. But so that was for me like a little bit of a guide to whatever happens in a country can become you know, make someone outspoken or make someone feel oppressed, embolden somebody, whatever that culminates in. So that's his character had a lot to do with helping us understand kind of the origin of that. A lot of times I do have someone in my mind when I'm writing this, but because this was ensemble, I just couldn't, I don't know, I couldn't extend. I just had the really strong personality types in my head, and God,
Mhm.
knowing this whole thing is going to work so much because of its acting, so it has to be cast right. So I didn't, and honestly, the first draft I didn't, was really well received. Like that, doesn't happen that often. And before I really knew what the response to the script was, Diane had read it and
Mhm.
was wanted to do it. And so it was just like such a amazing thing to happen that someone who's been in this industry this long and is such a beautiful like resonant actor who I admire so much, I admire her work, came on board. And so it was really her coming on board the film that also helped us with casting. And CAA got very supportive, and a few of their clients are from a particular agent over there, and so the family all came together. But it was really the actors supporting the actors and wanting to do the material. So.
Mhm.
But I mean, it was what riches to have this, what Dylan did, what, everyone did, and then Madeline, who, has to go up there and be a comic, and you know what I mean, and she holds so much humor in the film. And Zoe, who has got incredible comic timing on top of it, she's great physical, she goes from so like sort of serious and sort of a self-important kind of person who's becoming disillusioned over time. And everyone, so uh, Dylan McCormick, who is absolutely amazing, and I think such a breath of fresh air. I wrote him a letter saying I really wanted to write a whole film around him because there was a writer's
Right.
strike and I couldn't go back in because I had no idea we were going to get so brilliantly cast, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
So yeah, so the ensemble became the Taylors, and we were so fortunate.
Thank you so much for your time, Lori.
Thank you so much, Nobu. It's nice talking to
Okay.
you.
Have a good day.
You too. Take care.
1 second.
Cheers to 25 years.
We're so grateful to have our kids here with us. My greatest happiness in life is being your wife.
Josh brought the new girlfriend. She doesn't blink.
Guys, this is Liz.
It's lovely to meet you, Mr. and Mrs. Taylor.
Very nice to meet you, Liz.
I wasn't sure if you'd remember me.
I didn't at first, but I remember you now. Our son's new girlfriend is a former student. She's radical in her ideology.
Honey, people change.
No, Paul, they don't. I don't think it's a coincidence that she's attached herself to Josh.
Come on, we don't bite.
Sure you do. It's all coming back. The skillful way she evades questions.
Can you pretend to be happy for me? You couldn't bend her your way. Drives you insane.
What do you even know about this girl?
Wow.
It's growing a new host to attach itself to. That's how it blossoms and infects the entire ecosystem.
You know, I used to be afraid of you. But I don't think I am anymore.
Don't let them win.
Your sister went missing.
It's not a coincidence.
Where the world is now, it's dangerous. Josh. Yeah.
Look around us.
She's messing with her heads.
We don't always know what our children are capable of.
Regardless of what you think of me, I don't want to be the reason things change in this family.
I think you know what's coming.
Don't let them win. Don't dream.
You have obliterated us.
Don't let them win.
What more do you want?